Ave Regina,
Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. Jesus again, in reply, spoke to the chief priests and the elders of the people in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be likened to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son. He dispatched his servants to summon the invited guests to the feast, but they refused to come. A second time, he sent other servants, saying, 'Tell those invited, behold, I have prepared my banquet. My calves and fattened cattle are killed, and everything is ready. Come to the feast.' Some ignored the invitation and went away, one to his farm, another to his business. The rest laid hold of his servants, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged and sent his troops to destroy those murderers and burn their city. Then the king said to his servants, 'The feast is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy to come. Go out, therefore, into the main roads and invite to the feast whomever you find.' The servants went out into the streets and gathered all they found, bad and good alike, and the hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to meet the guests, he saw a man there not dressed in a wedding garment. He said to him, 'My friend, how is it that you came in here without a wedding garment?' But he was reduced to silence. Then the king said to his attendants, 'Bind his hands and feet and cast him into the darkness outside, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. Many are invited, but few are chosen.'" The Gospel of the Lord. This is certainly a very intriguing gospel parable. The king has servants go out to invite all these people of the kingdom, who refuse. Some were told, just pretty much ignore, walk away. Others are actually very violent towards the servants. And so then the king says, well, they're not worthy. Go out and find anybody that will come, the good and the bad. And so they do. And interestingly, they actually come to the banquet, the good and the bad. So it's very perplexing that as they are at the banquet, that as the king walks in, he spots one man who he singles out, and notices he does not have a wedding garment. Now he's invited everyone in. Why is he upset? They've all said yes. Why now is he upset? My friend, how is it that you came in here without a wedding garment? What Jesus is teaching in this parable, all those who were invited had faith. They answered the invitation. And he's comparing that to many in his time and many in our time today, that they have faith. Yes, they say they believe in God. They may say they go to Mass. Maybe they pray a rosary here and there. Maybe even adoration once in a while. They have faith, they believe, But the issue is, it's not transformed their life. The sacraments that we receive make us like Christ. And we need to allow them to transform us little by little, but to transform us into Christ. And what does that look like? It looks like love. It looks like charity. And then we have to be careful, because in our day and age, when we say charity and love, it means something very different. It's very specific to the imitation of Jesus Christ, his love. Imitating him in his love. That's the garment that this man did not have. He had faith. He didn't just stumble in out of nowhere, but it was not transforming his life. And so Jesus said it's not enough to have faith, we must be transformed into his image and likeness. And then, yes, he recognizes us. And it's something that we don't have to be afraid of. We have to listen to what the prophet Ezekiel and the Psalm this morning. God says, I will sprinkle clean water upon you and to cleanse you from all your impurities, from all your idols. I will cleanse you. I will give you a new heart and place a new spirit within you, taking from your bodies your stony hearts and giving you natural hearts. We don't have to make the love happen. We're not the ones that can transform us into Christ. The Holy Spirit does that. The Holy Spirit is freely given to us. We need to surrender each day. And what's so beautiful and powerful, when we fail, God always has a way for us to be transformed, to become purified again. The sacrament of reconciliation. Again, we hear in the Psalm, a clean heart create for me, O God. I can't create my clean heart. So David is pleading to God, you create a clean heart in me, O God, and put a steadfast spirit, renew it within me. Cast me not from your presence, and your Holy Spirit take not from me. So the gospel in Jesus' parable is very serious about, it's not just faith, it's being transformed in love. That was the garment. But the good news is we don't have to do this on our own. We don't have to make this happen. We have to surrender to it, recognize where we're failing in it, ask the Holy Spirit to help us have wisdom when we're not living in this way. But every day we can call upon, come Holy Spirit, purify my heart and my mind. We can have that prayer that David had in the Psalm today. Lord, I'm too weak to do this. I ask you, please, I invite you in. He invites us, and we also invite him and allow him to do the transforming work. And he does this most powerfully, most perfectly, and most beautifully through the Eucharist. So let us continue the Holy Mass, asking Jesus' body, blood, soul, and divinity continue to save us and do what we cannot do on our own.
Regina Celi,
Letare, Alleluia, qui aquam meruisti portare, Alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit, Alleluia.